Imagine working harder every year and still feeling poor. Because there are two ways to make money. You can sell your time for money, or you can build something that makes money without requiring every hour of your life. Most people are taught to choose a job. Go to school, get hired, work hard, get promoted, retire. And there's nothing wrong with having a job. A job can give you stability, experience, benefits, and a reliable income. But here's the problem: if your income completely depends on your time, there is a limit to how much you can earn. Think about it. If you work 8 hours a day and your employer pays you $20 per hour, you make 160 a day. You could become more valuable, get promoted, or negotiate a higher salary. Maybe eventually you make $30 or even $50 per hour, but there are still only 24 hours in a day. You can't work 100 hours a day. This is the fundamental limitation of the job model. Now compare that with a business. Imagine you create a simple online product that costs $20. You sell 5 copies today. That's $100. Tomorrow, maybe you sell 20. That's $400. And the interesting part is that you don't necessarily have to create the product 20 separate times. The product can be created once and sold hundreds or thousands of times. That's leverage. And leverage is one of the biggest differences between working for money and building a business. A business allows you to use things like technology, employees, systems, advertising, content, and capital to multiply your effort. For example, imagine someone who works as a graphic designer. If they work for a company, they might receive a salary for producing designs during their working hours. But that same person could eventually create a design business. Instead of personally designing every single project, they could find clients, build a team, create systems, and manage the operation. Now their income isn't determined only by how many designs they personally create. The same principle exists everywhere. A restaurant owner doesn't personally serve every customer. A YouTuber doesn't personally watch every view. An online store doesn't require the owner to personally sell one product to one customer every minute. A software company can sell the same software to thousands of people. That's why businesses can scale. But here's where people make a huge mistake. They see the word business and immediately think, I need millions of dollars. You don't. You need a problem that people are willing to pay you to solve. Imagine someone notices that local businesses struggle to create social media content. Instead of saying, I need a huge company, they start by offering to create content for 3 businesses. Maybe they charge each business $300 per month. That's $900 per month. Then they improve their skills. They get 10 clients. Now it's $3,000 per month. Eventually, they hire someone to help with the work. The business can grow beyond what one person's individual working hours could produce. That's the difference. A job usually asks, how much is your time worth? A business asks, how much value can you create and how many people can you serve? But don't misunderstand this. Business is not automatically better than a job. A bad business can destroy your money, your time, and your mental energy. And in the beginning, a business can actually require more work than a normal job. You might work nights. You might fail. You might make almost nothing for months. You might spend money on something that doesn't work. That's why the goal shouldn't be quit your job and start a business. The smarter strategy is use your job to build the resources that can eventually give you more freedom. Your salary can pay your bills. Then you can save. You can invest. You can learn valuable skills. And you can build something on the side. For example, imagine someone earns $2,500 per month. Instead of increasing their lifestyle every time they receive a raise, they keep their expenses under control. They save $500 every month. At the same time, they spend a few hours each week learning sales, programming, marketing, video editing, or another valuable skill. Eventually, they start generating an additional $300 per month, then $700, then $1,500. Now something has changed. Their survival no longer depends entirely on one paycheck. And that's where financial freedom really begins. Not when you become a millionaire, not when you buy a Lamborghini, but when losing your job doesn't mean losing your entire financial life. The ultimate goal isn't necessarily to choose between job and business. The real goal is to build multiple sources of income. While reducing your dependence on your time, your job can finance your future. Your skills can increase your earning power. Your investments can make your money work. And your business can create leverage. The person who understands this doesn't ask, how can I work more hours? They start asking a much more powerful question. How can I make 1 hour of work create value more than once? Because if you always trade hours for dollars, eventually you run out of hours. But if you build skills, systems, assets, and businesses that continue creating value, your income doesn't have to stop when you stop working. And that is the real difference between simply earning money and building wealth.